if it's showing it on your end.
It is, yes.
Okay. I'm hands off right now. Okay.
Okay. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to week 12. I am excited to be here in week 12, and I think you probably are too. Can you see my screen? Can somebody give me a thumbs up? Okay, great. All right. I still have one or two people that have texted me and said they are having trouble getting on. So, welcome again. And Dr. Sedman is going to quickly talk about Standard 8 for our North Carolina Standard for School Executives.
Okay. Dr. Rivers, if you'll scroll down to standard 8.
Okay, I'm getting there. Okay, here we go.
Dr. Rivers, while I'm going over standard 8, those standards that we'll mention it later on, but if you could pull up or find those standards that they're going to be responsible for with their work, because I
Okay,
want to, before we go out of this, I want to go back and look at them again for just a
okay,
second.
that's great. That sounds good.
Okay, standard 8, again, is a this is very short, but very, 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 very important to you as a principal and assistant principal. And when went back and read over this again today, if you are in a public school or if you are in a public charter school and this is not happening, somebody's not doing their job. That's all I'm going to say. Because this is clear, it clearly indicates that this has been it has been developed, fully fully endorsed by um, DPI and our and state board. So if it's not being done, then something's so you need to be aware of this if you are in public education in any capacity and you're either an acting assistant principal or you're going to be an assistant principal and then you will be a principal. So let's look at it. It's academic achievement leadership. Now, everything that Dr. Revis and I have talked about or shared with you this semester, all the work you've done, everything has always ultimately it is funneled back up at the pinnacle all about student achievement. Everything is about student achievement. Guess what? Teachers are important, principals are important, but guess what? They don't matter. I mean, it's not worth a grain of salt without the students. That's why we have our jobs. That's why we do what we do. It's all about the student and it's all about academic achievement with that student or students. So I want you to think strongly about this as I'm reading this to you. It says school executives will contribute to the academic success of students. That's a pretty straight point statement. That's your job. The work of the school executive will, not maybe, well, it says it will result in acceptable, measurable progress for students based on established performance expectations and using appropriate data to demonstrate growth. Have we not emphasized that the whole semester? Haven't we driven the point about data the whole time? So honestly, at the end of the day, your your job, your job is contingent upon the data at your school. Data rules. That goes back to that name of that book. Data rules. This is the icing on the cake, Dr. Revis, when you look at this standard. An executive's rating, how you're evaluated at the end of the year, on the eighth standard is determined by a school-wide student growth value as calculated by the statewide growth model for educator effectiveness. That's powerful. That means that what students do or what they don't do, what teachers do or what they don't do, ends up affecting you as the principal of the school. That's where the buck stops. It stops with you. So everything that we've talked about, as you have looked at what it's going to take to get from point A to point B based on what you have found wrong at your school. The most uh, we call it another term is the most pressing need. That targeted problem at your school. Ultimately, it belongs to you. It belongs to you as the principal, and your job as the leader of the school is to, from there, you've got to start working with the teachers, the other, and ultimately, the foundation is what does it do for the students of the school? So it's a pyramid approach. You're at the top, and it comes down. It belongs to you. That's where it is. And at the end of the day, if your school principals actually they get performance bonuses based on um, if a school uh, if they exceed growth or they by a degree if they're showing progress. Now you can be an F or a D school and you can still make growth. That's just like with the EVOS. You may have a level one student in your class, and we always think fours and fives, uh, but your goal in a school is to give that child a year's worth of growth in a year's time. So if they're at a one and your teachers can get that child to a level two, guess what? That is high growth for that child. And if you can do that with just like this targeted group that you've got, probably most of them, if not all of them, are low level ones, Dr. Revis. I would say that. And even if it's at when it's a one, there's a scale. If you could get it from the bottom from here, even if you can get it to the top level of a one, you've made growth with that child. So you've got to drive this as the leader of the school. You've got to be able to understand that data. You've got to be able to dig into it yourself. You cannot depend on just your um, your coaches to do that. Your instructional coach. You can't depend on that. You can't just say, okay, you've got two assistant principals. I'm going to let one be in charge of curriculum in the school. You've got to understand creating. You've got to put your fingers and hands, and you've got to keep your thumb on it at all times. And you have got to drive it because at the end of the day, it's coming back to you. Dr. Revis, anything you want to say on that? Okay. Dr. Revis, can you tell me the standards? Now, remember we said that these standards are going to be uh, woven into the work that you're going to, the end work that you're going to be doing. And so we're going to bring that out tonight. But Dr. Revis, specifically, which of these 8 standards are going to have to focus on with their work that we're going to talk about tonight this semester?
Okay, for this semester, task one, and I'm looking on page 32 of your handbook. Standard one, strategic leadership. Standard on the Standard 2, instructional leadership. Standard 3, which is, hold on, which is cultural leadership. Standard 4, which is human resource leadership. Standard 6, external development leadership. And I don't understand why standard 8 is not on there, but it is not. Dr. Stedman and I looked at that the other day, and that doesn't make sense to me because, as you said earlier, this is what they have been doing the whole semester. But you will get that in one of the other tasks.
So,
So standard 1, let's go back and scroll back. Is that what you want to do?
well, we don't have to go over them. What I would ask you to do before you do your work, I want you to go back and to revisit these standards that Dr. Revis has just named out. I want you to go back and revisit them and understand them before you start your work.
Now, let me share them one more time. Standards 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6.
And you need to be able to without you need to be able to interpret and use the language in your work for these standards.
Okay. All right.
Any questions from anybody? Is that clear as mud? Okay, good.
Our comments about assignment 8. I was very pleased with assignment 8. You guys did a good job. For the most part, everybody was able to get to meet with their two groups, their admin group and their focus group, got good feedback, made some plan revisions. I'm going to say this one more time. For my group, okay? You've got to make in your action plan the last column, which says indicators of success. You have to make those measurable. You have to. Now, I gave you some feedback and I said for NCPPA, they won't accept that if it's not measurable. But I did not emphasize neither will your task stream evaluators. So you've got to go back and make those measurable. Now, Dr. Stedman and I have not had a chance to talk today, but if you want to stay after class tonight for just a little bit, I would like to just work with you a little bit on how to make some of those measurable. You've got to make them measurable, period.
Right.
Okay?
And Dr. Revis, that was except for some minor APA issues. Uh, that was my biggest thing was when I had to send work back. But I will tell you, I had several that have already returned their work to me, and when I gave them an example to follow, and then when I came back, it was exactly what it needed to be. So you know it was great recovery from. I'm still waiting on a handful to send me that work back, with the changes on there. But Dr. Revis, I had some exemplary work the first time.
I did
I mean,
too.
it
I
was
did
it
too.
was it was letter perfect the first time.
Hmm.
So,
I did
so
too.
I kudos. And again, for the ones that had to make some revisions, your revision, you followed directions and you went back and you understood what you had to do. And, I didn't have to, you're clear with me on that now. So, overall, I was highly pleased and highly impressed with 99% of the work that came in.
I was too. Dr. Stedman, I know we don't have this on our agenda, but can we give a little feedback on the peer reviews?
Absolutely.
If you would allow me, and I haven't asked Kim Turner, if I could share hers, but I want to share Kim Turner's. peer review one feedback. Are you okay, Kim, with that? It was outstanding.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I just want to show you. Remember the reason we're doing this. It's not just a checkbox assignment. We're doing this because we want you to work with a partner to get that formative, thorough feedback. Remember, when we're doing feedback to our students or to teachers, if you're in some kind of supervisory role, you have to give thorough, specific feedback. So, yes, she did a check mark, but she also made comments. These are her comments down in here. I thought that was outstanding. You know what? I can take those comments and I can do something with that. And she's made them positive and some things for to go back and look at. But I just wanted to show you that that's kind of what we're expecting. We expect some feedback, some formative feedback to your peer review teammate so it's useful. If all you got are check marks, that's really not useful, is it?
And Dr. Revis, taking it a step further, as you are moving into an administrative role, or if you're already there, don't ever go in and do even though a walkthrough or whatever. Just give some type of feedback back to the teacher. Let it be meaningful. Don't just check it off and say, "Well, I've done my job." You know, you really haven't done your job.
And what we have found with peer reviews, we've never done a peer review on this stuff, but we've always done peer reviews of each other's works. What we find is, number one, you grow because you're seeing somebody else's work. And I know a couple of you made comments. I didn't think about doing that. I'm going to go back and do that in my paper. That's fine. Just be sure you're not doing it in exactly the same way or saying the same exact words because, Turnitin will ding you on that. But you're learning from others, but you're also learning that rubric thoroughly when you have to give feedback to somebody else. And feedback is a big part of your job as an administrator, like Dr. Stedman said.
Right. And the thing is, we needed to do peer review one just to see where you were with it. And, I put a comment back, you have satisfactorily met, the requirements for peer review one, knowing that we were going to have this conversation. But we expect to see what Dr. Revis has pointed out in peer review two and subsequent peer reviews from this point on. We need you to make it much more meaningful.
Okay. So you've got peer review 2 coming up. And again, I pulled this right from your handbook. But if you see any discrepancies between the document that I provided and what's in your handbook, always default to your handbook. Okay? And again, I really would, if you really want to know what I'd love for you to do, is when you put your comments in under this, put it in a different color text. That way it stands out to us as reviewers, instructors, and for your teammate that you're providing feedback on. And this is due on Sunday evening. Any questions on the artifact 2? Okay,
Everybody good?
everybody good? Due Sunday evening by 6 p.m.
Okay.
All right, assignment 9. You want to go on? What do we want to do now, Dr. Stedman?
We don't need to talk about peer review 3.
No.
Well, let's see, that is 9. Peer review 3 is due the 16th. We do need to talk about it. it
Okay.
follows the same process. So, just make sure, when that's that you do everything that we ask you to do today and the rest of the peer reviews that you've got to do. But the dates are there.
Okay. So assignment 9, are we ready to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's look at the rubric first. And this is your last assignment. In fact, this can be your commentary at the end for your NCPPA. All right. It's your evaluation and reflection, but it's very specific. Again, you've got to look at your NC standards for school executives, particularly these standards that we just talked about. Here's a hot link to the standards. So you are reflecting on these things in relationship to your growth and how well you did on the standards. Your collection and analysis of data to determine a priority academic area group. Your engagement of others in the planning process, including soliciting input. Your development of a proposed vision, theory of action, and set of strategies. You've got to reflect on that.
And Revis, you and I talked about this when we talked earlier. It's not a regurgitation of
Right.
what you have done. So, when I look at, and I'm going to pick on Marita, she's there. When I look at Marita's work, Maria, I know what you've done already. So I don't want you to go back and say, I did so and so. You've got to reflect on the growth. You go back and look at those standards. You've got to go back and reflect on it. How have I grown as an aspiring administrator? What have I learned from this? So you've got to really do some digging inside of you,
And
and you've got to
again,
bring it out to us.
specific examples of leadership skills and practices, what worked well and what could be improved. Now, you've already done everything except for this next to the last bullet. You've not done that. Now, you may have done that informally. Have you solicited feedback on leadership skills from stakeholders involved in this task? Now, maybe you have, but my sense is you probably have not. You have to at least ask your admin about specific feedback on leadership skills. They should be very familiar with these standards because that's how they're being evaluated. Right, Dr. Stedman?
Absolutely.
And so you can remind them of these standards and you want to get their feedback. Now, if you want to go over the top, you can send out a feedback. You can solicit feedback from your focus group, the last focus group you used. But you've got to at least get something from your administrators. The reason I say administrators because, your focus group of teachers may not be familiar enough with these standards to really give you good feedback, but your administrators should be. Now, there is not a helpful hints on this document, and I'm not going to put one on it because you should be able at this time to organize your thoughts. You still have to write for our purposes, double spaced, follow all your APA and all that the same way. And here's your rubric.
And Dr. Revis, go back. That every one of those bulleted areas, every one of them must be addressed.
So, what are you thinking about? How can you make sure you do that? Well, if it were me, I'd make sure I had a section for that. Okay? And you've done everything you've done everything except for this one. And you may have already done that one. And this is your rubric. Those are the bullet points coming straight from what I just shared with you. Um, and that's and you identify, be sure you identify what worked well and what you would do differently to improve your practice. Any questions on this? This could be, again, your commentary that you have to do for NCPPA with a little tweak here and there. Now, this is not due until November 16th. So you've got a couple weeks to work on this. But remember now, we're not going to be in session next week. But if you get and start working on it, which I hope you will, um, and you have questions, please email us. Don't start down a wrong path and then have to redo everything. I am confident my class has been some of the best writers I've ever had.
Mine too, Dr. Revis.
I know you can do this without a helpful hints. Next semester, you're probably not going to get helpful hints. If you do, they're going to be very vague, very vague.
Well, it's like we've always said, we hold your hands a lot to begin with, but we start, we're always here, but we start cutting the apron string or the umbilical cord, and so that you can start thinking more independently on your own. It doesn't mean that we're not going to be there and we're not going to guide you, and we'll do, but you're going to see us, because you're going to be working with Dr. Revis and me again, you know, through some of this work next semester, even though you'll have Dr. Stone as your instructor. Uh, we will continue to guide you through this process, but you've proven to us that you know what you're doing.
You got to take those rubrics, guys, and unpack them just like you do when you're teaching your standards. You know how to do that, I'm sure.
Right.
You have to do this as well. Again, what is due on the 9th is your peer review for Artifact 2. But on the 16th, there are two things you have to have done: peer review 3 and assignment 9. And this is your last assignment. Okay? As far as NCPPA goes and the class goes, you still have to do peer review 4.
And we have, and that'll be due the 23rd, but we will talk about that when we come back together 2 weeks from tonight.
Okay, be sure next week you're using your time wisely. You don't have to meet with your peer team on Wednesday evening necessarily, but I would expect that you're meeting with your teammate to talk about your work, to collaborate before you start working on this Peer 3 checklist. Why don't you get together and talk about it?
And Dr. Revis, even with assignment 9, if you decide there's one or two or three people in your class that you want to do a Zoom with and just and talk about it, that you can learn from each other about what to do. So it's left. Some people work very much independently, but some people, they like that collaboration. So reach out to any of your peers, your assigned peer, or anybody else if you want to talk about assignment 9 with them. And again, don't wait until the last minute. Don't rush on this work either. You've got 2 weeks. This work, remember, you should be able to take this work and transfer it to NCPPA, the majority of it. Am I right, Dr. Revis?
Yes,
So,
yes.
so take the time that you need to take put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into it. That's why we've given you the 2 weeks to be able to have plenty of time to be able to map your time out. I would work on this some every night if it were me.
Agree. Week 15, Thanksgiving week, no class. Again, that doesn't mean you take off. You've got to meet your deadlines. And we will meet briefly week 16. When we come back next week, we're going to talk to you about your task stream requirements. I know several of you've asked questions through, and we just said, don't worry about it, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. We will discuss that next week. And we will have available your sign up for your CC2 readiness checklist. And those dates for that are right here. And Dr. Stedman's class will sign up with me, and my class sign up with him. And remember, readiness checklist means we can't look at your work. We just are checking your format to
And
make sure
asking you
that you can
questions.
upload. Right.
And we'll ask you questions and you'll just say yes or no. And,
Mhm.
we can guide you in that. But you're just about there.
Oh, yes.
You're just about there. And
Right.
I
Celebrate.
can't say it enough. Doctor, I say, you can't stop now, but at this point, a job well done.
Yes. And just you know what's mapped out for you, and again reach out to us, but also reach out to your peer review teammate or others in the class, as Dr. Sedman has said, because you can really forge some bonds with other students, can help you work through this process. Now, next semester, Dr. Stedman and I are going to be working with you on NCPPA stuff. But Dr. Stone is going to teach law, school law, and finance. So it's almost like you've got that content to do, plus you've got work to do for the NCPPA. So it's almost like you have two classes, which you really do anyway. And so we
Well, they've
will,
had 2 classes this semester, but because
yes,
they had both of us and we combined, we've included we've included all of that all in one.
right,
It just won't be all in one next
right.
semester.
And your final log is due December the 1st. Now, someone emailed me and said, I've got all my hours in. Can I go ahead and turn it in? I said, no, because you have to be involved in clinicals all the whole time you're involved in the class. That's one of the rules. You have to be active in clinicals. So don't stop, you know. Maybe you need to go back and look at some things to take off, or rearrange some things, but you have to be working clinically the whole way through.
Dr. Revis, when are those dates again? We're gonna have them to sign up. We'll
Oh, I'm
get back and
sorry.
look.
They'll
Okay.
be signing up November 24th, 5th, 12, 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. Um, okay. That won't work. Anyway.
And we'll have a sign up sheet. It'll be a Google Doc, and you just sign up, first come, first serve.
All
You
right.
have to meet our schedules, and if your schedule doesn't mesh with ours, we'll do something individually. It won't be long. It won't be long.
Right.
Amanda?
And I may go back and revisit that based on my schedule. I may ask you, when do you have planning time at school? I may ask that question and I may work with you during your planning time. You know, we'll see. We haven't ciphered all that out yet.
Amanda, you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So when is our all of our task stream due? Is it at the beginning of January?
Now you have to get task stream done um, put it in by December the 3rd. Everything has to be in.
But Amanda,
Okay.
again,
Don't
we're going to
worry.
talk about that in 2 weeks. We have worked it out. Dr. Stone has agreed. We have, for the most part, you've done everything. You've just got to pull it and pull it together.
Okay.
What you have to do
Um,
there.
Okay. All right. That was my question because I saw the dates for when we were doing our little review readiness. And then I had thought that everything was scheduled like December the 1st, or maybe it was November the 30th. Everything was due. So I just wanted to make sure that when we signed up that we would have everything ready. The checklist would be complete with you all, and we would just be ready to send it in before everything was due to TaskStream.
Let me ease your mind, Dr. Revis, if you're okay with this. Dr. Revis and I will come up with, because it's going to TaskStream, we will come up with a helpful hints document that will guide you with exactly what you've got to do for TaskStream. Is that okay, Dr. Revis?
True. Yeah. It's just going to be, guys, it's going to be easy. You're just going to string together all your 9 assignments. That's it.
That's
Okay.
it. It's going to be very, very.
Easy.
You
Yeah. Don't
will have
sweat that.
you will have done the work, and
Yeah.
we have a rubric. Thanks to Dr. Revis, we have a rubric that Dr. Stone has approved that the evaluators will use, one that we have developed for you. Okay, we've looked out for you.
Any other questions? Guys, are you ready for it to be over? Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Let's see some hands raised. But,
Okay. Hannah? Do you have a
Hi, I
question?
have a question about the action plan. So I've submitted or I've turned it in for assignment 7 and 8 with my action plan, and I remember you guys mentioning we need 3 to 5 items on that. Do all 3 or 5 of those items have to be measurable, or at least one for that specific area that we're working in?
Well, they really all need to be measurable in an action plan because number one, how are you going to know? How are you going to know that you've done it? And number two, how are you going to know how effective it is?
Okay.
and Hannah and Dr. Revis, we were going to talk about that. One of the things is, and I pointed this out. Just say, for instance, it's going to be lesson plan checks by the principal. Then 100% of the teachers' lesson plans will be evaluated by the principal for the following.
Mm-hmm.
Or they will do, that's your proof, because 100% of the teachers will be involved in staff development for,
Mm-hmm.
or and if it's again, if it's you're looking at literally gains in math or whatever, you're looking with that group. You may say that that you're looking at a 5% growth index, in that area. Again, everything's pretty much it should be a percentage of something, wouldn't you say, Dr. Revis?
Yeah, it has to be measurable. Just always remember that. Your action steps have to be measurable.
Thank you for clarifying that by saying that this percentage of teachers will do that.
Right.
Like, that helps me to wrap my brain around, because I was saying that my teachers would participate in PLT meetings.
Right.
So I just need to say something about the percentage of teachers will do that.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, Nicole?
So just to go off of Hannah's, if you guys didn't make, Dr. Stedman, if you didn't notate that they weren't measurable enough, does that mean that they're okay? Or should we just definitely go back and make sure that
go back and look at them based on our conversation tonight.
Okay, and
Okay.
my second part of that January date, is that when our task one is due for NCPPA? Is that possibly what the January date is?
That
Is it due
is.
January
Yeah.
6th
January the 6th is the first day
date
that
that it
you can
opens?
possibly submit. And let Dr. Stedman and I talk about that. We won't be in session, Gardner. We won't be in session.
Mhm.
We may recommend you go ahead and submit before the semester starts if you feel ready. But let us talk about that just a little bit more, and we'll let you know something, when we meet on week 14. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And we'll talk with Dr. Stone as well, and he may ask us to tell you to wait until we start back with you, like Dr. Revis said, on the week 14. It's not gonna matter, but we want to make sure that um we don't mess up because you only have one time to do it, one chance to do it.
Any other questions?
Dr. Revis, just can you stop share?
Sure.
I won't see their faces.
Okay.
Okay, oh, they're pretty faces. I just want to see if, I see it. How are you feeling at this point? Are you feeling, much more comfortable about things?
A little bit.
A little bit, okay. Uh, but again, we don't. If you weren't doing it, you would not hear the accolades that we're giving you. You wouldn't hear that from us.
I am so glad. I am so glad that we had this group. We've got you guys.
Amen.
And you have been so patient with us as we're trying to work our way through this. And I appreciate that. And we're going to give you an opportunity. I want some feedback on what we should do or could do differently. And I want to gather that feedback, Dr. Stedman. I know you do an instructor feedback through the university, but I want us to gather some specific feedback before the end of the semester. If you would, please oblige us in helping us better prepare other students and helping us be better.
Right,
Okay?
right. And again, nothing's going to hurt our feelings. Nothing. You know, we. Okay, guys. Any questions from us at this point?
Okay, does anyone need to stay online afterwards to talk about making their indicators of success measurable? If you want to, please stay. If not, guys, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
But again, reach out to us if you need us. Okay.
Yes.
See.
Let's give those who are wanting to exit stage left just a moment.
Hmm? Okay.
Hey, Rosalind, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Rosalind has done some really strong work this semester.
That is great.
Thank
Meg,
you.
was it a personal question?
It was just about making my goals more measurable. I was just going to let Dr. Revis know I resubmitted assignment 8 after
Okay.
your feedback, but I did have one question. One of my strategies was to propose to get additional funding for a full-time ESL teacher as one of my strategies. How can I make that measurable?
Ooh. Well, that's a good one. Let me think on that one.
Okay.
So, is that something that your principal's going to advocate for?
Well, I'm hoping she will. She knows about it, but I don't know if that's something she's going to take on.
What are your thoughts, Dr. Stedman?
Well, I had a student that had put a position in there, and the principal, when they met with the principal in assignment 8, when they met with them, he said he says, I've got a problem with this because there's no funding for this.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually went back and they took that out and put a measurable objective in there, because it's in the narrative work that the principal said. So when they readjusted their plan of action, they didn't put it in there because they knew it was not going to be done. So I would meet with my principal,
Mhm.
and if my principal thought it could be done, then you would be able to say, you could put a percentage in there, that, or I don't know how you would say it, Dr. Rivers, but if the principal thinks that it can be done or will be done, then you can say based on the principal, and then put the measurable that they are 100% sure that assured that they can have this person in place by so and so, based on funding or something like that.
I think going back and talking to the principal is a good idea.
Yeah, I would do that, Rosalind.
And if they say leave it in, that they will at least advocate, then get back with me. Oh, she went off. Get back with me, and we'll wordsmith something. Okay.
You still there, Rosalind?
I don't know what happened.
Mary Kate, was it, are you okay with asking now?
Yeah, I can. It's funny that Rosalind asked that because that was one question that I had, but and I'll go back and talk to my principal again. But I had a question about one of the comments you made on my last paper.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I had mentioned in there, and I just want to make sure what I'm putting before I resubmit to you is correct. But I had put in there that when I presented to my principal, that I had explained my research behind it, and you put like explain research. Do I need to go and do a summary of the research I found? Or should I just leave out that I explained? Like my principal got so excited about my
No,
presentation.
what did I say?
You put explain research and a question mark. So do I need to go back and give a summary of some of what I said?
Uh,
Or do
no.
I need to just go back
No,
and
disregard that. Disregard it. You're okay.
Okay, because I mean, like my
I'll go-
principal was so excited about all this.
I'll go back and look at it, Mary Kate.
Okay.
But unless you hear from me, leave it alone. Okay.
Okay. I just want to make sure before I resubmit
Yes.
it, that it's correct.
Sometimes we are doing this late at night too, and whatever. So that could have been one of those fuzzy moments.
Well, and it could be I didn't make it completely clear. I was trying to finish all this sitting at the ball field watching my son play baseball Sunday. So it could have been I didn't put it all completely clear.
Let me go back and look at that, and I'll look at that when we get off tonight. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. I know my principal was so excited about all my stuff. She's had me go in and add some of it as task for our school improvement plan, and wants some of the research behind it to present at a principal's meeting.
That's awesome, Mary Kate.
So she's actually asked me to go and attend the principal's meeting in a few weeks.
That is great.
That's great exposure for you. I know it may make you nervous, but you know it. You know it better than they do, or they wouldn't be asking you about it.
Well, one of the things that's going to happen with that exposure, you keep on doing what you're doing, and it'll happen fast for you.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how
Okay.
it happens.
That's awesome.
She's got me going. Our data person comes to school in 2 weeks, and I have to meet with her and present some of this to her for the district.
Okay.
So
Well, here's what excites me. Number one, that I am seeing that we are seeing the work that you're doing in class useful and authentic, and that you're getting recognition outside of the good work you're doing here, that you're getting recognition for it at your school. So that's awesome. And the district.
Well, thank you. I'm excited because she's new to our school. Like, it's her first year at our school, so I was kind of glad she's taken okay with this.
Yeah.
That's great,
Great.
Mary Kate.
So,
Very
okay,
proud of
well,
you.
I'll just wait and hear back from you. If not, I'll send
Okay.
in with my other little correction I had to make.
Okay. I'll look at it whenever I process the video tonight.
That's
Uh,
fine.
I'll go in and look at it.
That's
Okay.
fine. Not a problem. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Rosalind, are you still there?
She lost connection, she
Okay.
said, but I sent her in the chat box. I told her what our plan would be. Rosalind, are you there?